डिनर टेबल पे बात नहीं करनी है इसके बारे में. In fact, when I decided to sort of take that jump from a corporate life to starting up something like Acom, even my family members said that what exactly is this? Every day we look at a new thing, a new problem. We get very excited at that. There's something that we need to solve. There's something that we need to work on, and then we realize that let's hold on for some time. Let's focus on what you're doing, because you spread your hands too much and then nothing happens. Yes, I was having a good job, a good corporate life. In fact, the work culture was very good, which is very difficult to find these days. One of the reasons that I felt strongly that it's time to move on is the work that I was doing. I didn't find it very meaningful. So when the PM started talking about these subjects, sanitation, hygiene, health, waste management, everybody was aware about these things. Everybody started talking suddenly.
Welcome back to the Climapreneur Show. Today we have with us Uttam Banerjee, a true solution bearer, someone who left his corporate job to pursue a college project, someone who has broken social stigmas, and I would say, with his passion to be a solution bearer, with his passion to create a solution. Coming right next up is Mr. Uttam Banerjee. Welcome to the Climapreneur Show, Uttam. It's an absolute honor to have you on our show.
Thank you, Shweta. Thank you.
Okay, so to begin with, let's know a little bit about Akam Echo. This is how you pronounce it, right?
Yes, it's pronounced as Ekam, Eco. Yeah.
Eco. Okay, and what is it about? What is it?
So Ekam is basically a Sanskrit word. It
Mm-hmm.
means interconnectedness or oneness. What we believe deeply is that everything in this world is actually interconnected. So, for
Yes.
example, sanitation, health, hygiene, agriculture, everything is greatly connected to each other, and that's what drives the philosophy of Ekam. So as part of the work that we do, we work in the areas of sustainable sanitation technologies, water management, and waste management. So that's primarily what we do.
So, as you told that you left your corporate job to enter into the world of, I would say, climatepreneurship because you're an entrepreneur that's driving climate action. Matlab, it's interesting that you left your corporate job and went back to a college project. So, what gave you that courage? Like, what gave you that name? I have to go back to the college project because I think like you might be having a stable income and all those elements.
Yes, I was having a good job, a good corporate life. In fact, the work culture was very good, which is very difficult to find these days. I was posted in Mumbai, and one of the reasons that I felt strongly that it's time to move on is the work that I was doing. I didn't find it very meaningful, and while in college, this was a very immersive experience that I had in the college days. I used to work on the real projects. I used to work, interact with the real users and face the real challenges. And when you are doing it every day, and the moment you solve a smallest problem, also you feel a lot of confidence in you that yes, we can do this.
Yes.
This is actually working on ground. And after working for 2 3 years, almost like 3.5 years in the corporate, after graduating from the college, uh, I was not finding it very sort of in, interesting about the job that I was doing. And I felt that there was so much of work that we did in the college, which we were, I mean, it was not just on paper. We actually experimented with them, so the proof of concept was there to give you certain amount of confidence that yes, it works in the real world. And of course, support of an institution like IIT and your faculty members
Yes.
also
Yes.
gives you a lot of courage and confidence that if something goes wrong, then these are the people whom I can look forward to. uh, there was a great amount of support from my family, from my wife as well, who also encouraged that okay, I mean, you try it out for a couple of years, and if it doesn't work out, then you always have the backup of coming back to a corporate life. So that's how actually I took that stake.
Okay. So like, what are your products, and how did you come up with this idea?
This actually, the idea came out long back. It was, I guess, in 2009, 2010. I was pursuing my master's degree in design,
Mm-hmm.
and I had few of my colleagues who were, pursuing the research work on
Mm-hmm.
something called as human urine utilization. So what they were doing was very interesting to me. They
Mm-hmm.
were trying to, figure out what exactly is there inside urine and feces, and what kind of ingredients they have, and if at all can you, recover them, extract them, and use them in the agriculture as a fertilizer. So we found that there is a great potential in that. There is a lot of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, and we started working. I started interacting with them a lot, and they were kind enough to educate me on this topic. I didn't have any background on sanitation or waste management. By training, I'm a mechanical engineer and a product designer. So we started working on this. We created small setup in the college campus itself, and we used to call it as urine bank. So we used to call people, and ask them that you come here and you pee in this particular urinal. And उनको बहुत ऐसा ताज्जुब होता था कि ये कर क्या
Uh-huh.
रहे हैं actually, so but that was fun. So experiments were good. We could actually recover the nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, and other things, and we could utilize them as fertilizer in the farm. So we used to produce banana and maize, a lot of other stuff, and the produce was quite good as compared to the kind of output that you get in a regular chemical based fertilizer. So it was quite encouraging, and we thought, let's do it at scale. Let's implement several of these setups inside the campus. It was a huge campus, and we thought that let's do it at scale. But then soon we realized that there is a great challenge in doing it on that scale, because how do you collect urine? If you look at a building, all the plumbing lines are actually connected. The toilet, the drain line, the urinal, everything is connected. So how do you
Yeah.
extract the urine? How do you collect it? And we thought, okay, let's create a setup where you have a separate line for urinal. And then we faced another challenge, which was that urine is heavily diluted because we flush a lot,
Yes.
and flushing happens because we feel that there is some odor or bad smell that is coming from the drain line, which is primarily ammonia gas and few other gases that comes from the drain line, which happens when urine dries up. Now we thought, if urine has a lot of water in it, then how do you process it, how do you recycle it? It becomes very difficult for you. So we started researching on it. We started figuring out what exact existing solutions you have so that you don't mix urine with water, and we came across waterless urinal. It's a very old
Wow.
concept, around 20-25 years old concept, very popular in the Western countries. But when we tried to adopt that technology, we found out that a lot of chemicals being used to suppress that odor. So the reason you flush, as I said, is we face some bad smell, and if you can handle that smell, there is no need of flushing. And the way those products were handling that smell was using some kind of chemicals or some kind of strong fragrances, and that was another challenge for us. You have stopped mixing water with the urine, but then there's a lot of chemical getting mixed in the urine. So we thought there has to be a better way of doing it, and we designed a mechanical system to this problem. uh, Purely mechanical, no chemical, no consumable, and we could collect pure urine. We implemented around 200 or 300 of these small kits inside the college campus, and it was working very well. But as it happens in a regular kind of curriculum, college curriculum, we graduated, we got placed, and we moved out. So nothing happened on ground. Everything remained on paper. The patent was filed. Everything happened, and I think it was somewhere around end of 2012 or early 2013 when I was working with an MNC at their R&D lab, and I was interacting with one of my professors, Professor VM Chariyar, Vijay Raghavan Chariyar. He happens to be a faculty member at IIT Delhi and currently also is one of our founding member. So while interacting with him, we realized that there's so much of work that we did in sanitation, waste management, but nothing actually came out in the public. So why not form a commercial entity and do it? And then we approached IIT, and they were kind enough to support us. We got the incubation. IIT gave us the permission to work on those projects on a commercial platform, and that's how the whole journey started. So it started off with a big idea of recovering the nutrients from so-called waste, converting that waste into a resource, and make it in a usable form. But eventually we zero it down, and then we sort of focused only on the small component of urinal, that too a waterless urinal, as a product, as an offering. But eventually we moved on, and then from urinal to toilet, and from toilet to housekeeping. So now if you look at our portfolio, you will find an end-to-end solution in the sanitation and
Yes.
waste management space, ranging from waterless urinals to solutions that can handle your toilet waste or STP waste, food waste, and as well as natural solutions that keep your home clean and healthy. So that's the overall work that we are doing right now.
Like this is amazing, like you have an amazing product. Like before like going more about the product, like with the urine bank and everything, I'm sure that there's a lot of social stigma attached to it.
Right,
So
right.
like how did you guys deal with it? Ki, I'm sure that people would have been like, "Ki, what are you doing? Ye kya hai?" and stuff like that. So did it bother you ki nahi yaar, urine वगैरह and all that?
To be honest, yes, in the beginning थोड़ी सी झिझक थी मुझे भी, because the brain is kind of tuned in that way right from the
Yes.
childhood कि ये
Hmm.
सुसु है, ये पॉटी है, और इसको एक अलग तरीके से देखना है, डिनर टेबल पे बात नहीं करनी है इसके बारे में. In fact, when I decided to sort of take that jump from a corporate life to starting up something like Acom, uh,
Mm-hmm.
even my family members said that what exactly is this?
Mm-hmm.
सुसु पॉटी पे काम करोगे अब तुम, एक इंजीनियर होने के बाद सो
Yeah.
डेफिनेटली वो एक स्टिग्मा तो है. बट what we realized is the best way to sort of approach that problem is to talk about it more and more. One of the greatest example that you can see in the recent times that happened was in
Mm-hmm.
2014, with Swachh Bharat Mission, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, even before the Swachh Bharat Mission was launched, there was something called as Nirmal Bharat, but nobody talked about it,
Yeah.
right? Uh, but when the PM started talking about these subjects, sanitation, hygiene, health, waste
Mm-hmm.
management, everybody was aware about these things. Everybody started talking suddenly,
Mm-hmm.
and it no longer remained as a taboo kind of a subject. So what we realized of late is that the more you talk, the more you discuss, the more you openly think about these things, the more easy it will be to sort of challenge, tackle those challenges. One very small thing that we came across was, after we sort of came out with this men's urinal product, we also realized that there is a great sort of area lying for the female. Now if you look at the female toilet, you have, for men there are two separate things. You have a commode, you have a urinal pan. For women there is only one device where you do the both
Yeah.
defecate and urinate. Now we thought that there is a lot of UTI infection happening because there is only one product which is available to you, and in that same product you are defecating, you are urinating, so there is a lot of splashing, there is a lot of contamination that is happening. Now we thought of creating a separate urinal for women. But while doing that research, when we started interacting with users or service people, we found a lot of challenges because nobody was opening up, especially when I was interacting with them. So my wife came into picture, and she started interacting with them, and they gradually started opening, and then things got slightly better. So that's something that we normally follow, that if you are comfortable in talking to me, great. If not, then I'll find a person who is with whom you're comfortable, and let's talk more and more and discuss more and more, and that's how we resolve it.
Yeah, this is absolutely true. I think it was during that time only when we had like two movies. One was, I think, Toilet, and the other movie was in which the Padman.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think like it also like kind of like showed us the thing that people are not very comfortable opening up and all these kinds of things.
Right, right. In fact, if you see after the Padman came,
Mm.
initially in the movies, before starting off a movie, you used to get only the ad related to smoking and all. But after
Yeah.
the Padman came out, now you also see advertisements or awareness
Mm.
programs around periods and sanitary pads, and also that is the way to do it, I feel.
100% correct. So, how do you feel, about being a solution bearer, or by being a part of the solution, or I would say by being a change maker, because you are clearly driving a big revolutionary change.
I'm not sure whether I'm a part of that change maker community, but yeah, being a part of something meaningful gives me a lot of kick, and I feel. I mean, I'm sure that everybody in my team feels the same way. We really feel very happy that even if it's a 1% change that we can bring in, it's a
Yes.
change, to some extent,
Mm.
and it's a change for the good, for the betterment of the future. uh, yeah, that's how we look at it. I mean, we want to do more, we want to do a lot of things,
Mhm.
but then we know that all it's not possible always to look at all of those things.
Mm.
Being from the developmental background, I mean, all of us, all the three co-founders are coming from that developmental background. So we every day we look at a new thing, a new problem. We get very excited at that. There's something that
Yeah.
we need to solve. There's something that we need to work on, and then we realize that let's hold on for some time. Let's focus on what you're doing. Because you spread your hands too much and then nothing happens. Whatever
It
is
becomes
happening is not.
overwhelming,
Yeah,
I would say sometimes.
true, true.
So, like, if you get a chance to like start things again, so what will you do differently?
One thing I would definitely like to do is focus on a few things to start with.
Mm-hmm.
What we did in the beginning was, because the objective was very large. As I said, the college project that we did was focusing on agriculture as a whole. That how
Mm-hmm.
you can recycle poo and pee, and bring those components back to the agriculture, close that whole open loop. That's a big thing to look at. But when you are starting up something, you need to look at very on the very smaller things, so that it becomes easy for you to manage, it becomes easy for you to focus your energy and effort. uh, that is something that I feel that if I have given a chance that to start again, I would like to focus on very few things, focus, plan very religiously what exactly I need to do, how I am doing it, and because this was my first experience, and many of these things were missed out in the beginning.
Okay. Like, how did you feel about your fears right now? Like, what all fears you had before making this, I would say, the mega switch?
uh,
So, how do you feel?
to be very honest, Shweta, when I was starting up, I didn't have that kind of fear, but now I have slight amount of fear because there are so many people attached to this business. So many lives are actually dependent on the work that we do. So now I would say, yeah, there is a sense of responsibility, there is a sense of accountability, not exactly fear, I would say, but yeah, there is a sense of responsibility that is there right now, that if something goes wrong, then what happens to these guys, which was not the case earlier when I was starting up, because there was no one around me. And I was kind of, I knew that if something goes wrong, it only going to affect me and nobody else. But yeah, I mean, when I look at the lives of these people, when I look at the even my teammates, and the when we do any work and the impact that it creates, it gives you so much of confidence and so much of encouragement, that all of those fear and accountability and responsibility actually it overcomes all of that. So yeah, it's quite satisfying.
Yeah, you're right. And at the end, like it's that feeling of being enriched that actually matters, I think.
Right, right, absolutely.
Okay. So, what are your current challenges with Ecomico? Like, what do you feel that, yeah, like if I would have had this thing, so like maybe my problem would be solved, yeah, for something of that kind.
Resource has always been a challenge.
Resources like,
Resources like funds or manpower, or the kind of management that you want to have in place. All of those things always remain a challenge for a startup,
mm,
especially for the first 3 years. Since we didn't take any investment, it was all bootstrapped. So we had a lot of these challenges of how do you manage everything with the minimal resources that you have, whether it is in terms of fund or in terms of manpower, reach, everything. Like for example, and it doubles up when you have a hardware product to offer.
yes.
So for a hardware company like us, it's very very difficult to sort of take the decisions. I mean, for example, if I want to launch a new product, I need to sort of look at it very carefully and give a lot of thought behind it, that because modifications are not easy for a hardware company. uh, and especially when you have limited amount of fund and limited amount of resources, if it goes wrong, then you lose a lot of time, energy, effort, everything. So it has always been a challenge, but yeah, currently the kind of team size, the kind of resource we are at a comfortable position. But still, you have a lot of these plans of expansions. You have a lot of sort of aspirations that sometimes becomes a challenge for you to act on that, because of the kind of, as I said, resources that you have. So
Truly. Okay. Okay. So, what does climate action mean to you?
see, climate action, whenever you talk about climate action, we normally
Mm-hmm.
perceive it as the climate change, or the change in the temperature or the monsoon, but it's actually much much bigger than that. If you look at it closely, as initially what I explained about the interconnectedness, everything is connected. In fact, employment is also connected to the climate change, right? uh, for example, in order to, I mean, there is a lot of these discussions happening these days around creating employment, creating, developing a nation, or creating smart cities and smart villages. Every developmental plan has its pros and cons, uh, and we need to look at it very carefully. Sometimes we do not find, do not look at those linkages, do not find uh, the ways and means it's linked to the other aspects of life. But it is, the more construction, for example, the more deforestation.
Yes.
uh, and deforestation means lack of water conservation, climate change, everything is connected. So all of these, I mean, in whatever way you can act in any of these areas is a great thing to start with, whether it's working on the energy sector to create better energy alternatives, or to work in the water management or waste management, or creating a better life, for healthy life for the people. uh, Everything is going to add something to the problem that we are facing these days. I mean, you see the seasons are shifting. It's
Yes.
October right now, and I stay in Ahmedabad, and it's pretty hot. In my childhood, I remember that September end means meant sweaters, or winter
Yeah.
season for us. Now from September end, it has shifted to December, or even end of December. That's linked to a lot of other things also: industrialization, the food security, everything.
Well said, Uttam. Okay, so my final two questions to you would be one piece of advice you would give your younger self.
Oh, I started off quite late, actually.
Mhm.
I after my bachelor's, I worked for around 2.5 years. And then I went for my masters. Then I worked for 3.5 years. It's good to gain some experience, but I still feel that the time is very limited. You have a very short time in hand, and definitely you need to gain some experience before you start something on your own. But you know, uh, as soon as you can start is actually a better thing to do. Also, the second thing that I would like to do is to plan things well in advance. Like, for example, as I said, when I was switching from the corporate life to this entrepreneurship life, I straight away jumped into it, without giving it a thought that if this does not happen, then what. So I didn't have a plan B, plan C kind of a thing. I just had one plan and I wanted it to be executed. That's also a good thing to do sometimes.
Yes.
But in some cases, back of your mind, you need to have some backup options also. Uh, so that's something that I would like to give an advice to myself.
Okay. And one piece of advice you would give out, like give to the youth out there.
Oh, this is something that I keep on saying to people I meet, that many people I have come across many people saying that what is the advice that you want to give to the 9 to 5 people, right? I feel it's not right to sort of look at it that way. Nine to
Okay.
five is a good thing to have. It's I mean the biggest thing is that don't do it just because someone else is doing it, right? Do it only if you love it, whether it's your job,
Mhm.
whether it's starting up something on your own, whatever it is. Do it if you love it. Otherwise, please don't do it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5 typical job profile. Many people do excellent job in that profile, but if only they love it. I see many people who come across to me, and they're like, I graduated from college and I have started up. I mean, here's my card
Mhm.
and it says CEO of such and such startup, right? Just to get that card done.
Mhm.
That's not something that you should follow. Just because a few other colleagues of your batch are doing it, don't do it. Find out a real problem, find out a real solution, and ask yourself whether you can put 100% of your heart into it, and then only jump into it.
That's an amazing advice, and like I can agree on that so much. Well, thank you, Uttam. Thank you so much. Like it was amazing talking to you and having this conversation with you. And I'm sure your story will resonate a lot of people out there. Some people who are starting, some people who are already in their journey. And I really wish that it helps like a lot of people to bridge that gap.
Thank you so much, Shweta, for this opportunity, and it was wonderful talking to you and sharing the experiences.
So today's message will be you need to enjoy the process. Do something because you love doing it. Pursue something that gives you meaning and motivates you to get out of the bed every day. If you believe in something, go for it. Go follow your dreams. Go be a solution bearer. Go be a clientpreneur. And stay tuned for the next episode.